All right, folks, this is an important video because honestly, most of my stuff is pretty clickbaity and dramatic, but I need to be really direct about some things because I don't want to be misinterpreted. Or in real words, I don't want to mislead people. So when I go and say things like, Salesforce is going to crash in 20 years, someone might take that and say, all right, well, I shouldn't learn Salesforce. Or even worse, they might interpret it as a sneaky way for me to sell coding courses because coding is a more future-proof technology. None of this is my intention. I'd go as far to say that it's the opposite of my intention, but that's on me. I need to be super duper clear about what I mean when I say these things. So, how do I really feel about Salesforce then? Well, let's talk about it. I want to answer this in two ways. First of all, I want to talk about a lot of the common questions and concerns I get from people. I don't talk a lot on social media, but I do read a lot and I respond to anything I get in private. So I'll go in depth on some of the comments and questions I've gotten. Specifically, is Salesforce going to die in 20 years? And are admin jobs really disappearing? And is everything I'm saying just a sneaky ploy to sell more coding courses? The second thing I want to do is have a conversation with you about this. Let's do a live session. We'll drink some virtual beers together. So we'll do a live session and you can ask me or anyone else participating anything you want. We'll keep it real, yeah? So this Saturday in 2 days, 7 p.m. Pacific time, I'll go live on YouTube and you can hop in and ask me whatever you want about the Salesforce industry, careers, whatever. Easy questions, hard questions, it's all good. If you're spending your Saturday night with me talking Salesforce, then I respect the heck out of you no matter what. I honestly don't know if anyone's going to join, but I do want to give people the opportunity to ask me whatever questions you have. All right, so back to the main topic. How do I really feel about the Salesforce industry? Do I really think it's going to crash in 20 years? Unfortunately, I really do think the answer to that is yes. But you have to also realize this is a really nuanced answer. Like, what does it mean to crash? Do I think Salesforce will be non-existent? No, not at all. I think it'll still be around and even quite strong, just like a bunch of other older technologies today like SAP. All right then, why the doom and gloom, David? Well, that's something I legit feel bad about because I swear I'm really an optimistic person. What I specifically mean though, is I don't think in 20 years, Salesforce will be the technology leader like it is today. I think within the next 20 years, Salesforce will be shrinking rather than growing. And in fact, I would say this is true for any top tier tech company today, including Google. But there will still be jobs in these industries, just like there are still jobs for any other older tech today. All right, again then, why the doom and gloom, David? Well, we are really in an unprecedented time today. Salesforce is ultra hot, like the power of 100 suns hot. And because of that, we can enjoy easy access to the highest paying jobs out there. Jobs that inflate our actual worth, honestly, beyond what we deserve. 20 years from today, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we'll still have jobs, but we'll be fighting for our food. And instead of things getting better every day, they'll probably get worse. And so, if you're a relatively ambitious person like me, you'll never want your career to be in that position. Hence my warning, which is not meant to be doom and gloom, but more a rallying call to start thinking long term. All right, but what about general CRM skills? When Salesforce starts to decline, surely there will be another CRM company taking its spot that you can pivot to. This is generally true, and it's what I tell myself to be the best safety net out there. My worry with taking too much comfort in this position is that I still meet plenty of people today stuck on older CRM technologies like Siebel, who are finally jumping into Salesforce relatively late. I get so many emails about this kind of stuff. And the lesson here is people naturally will hang on to what they know and not take that leap of faith into the next hot technology, which ultimately could mean they can no longer reliably pay their mortgage 20 or 30 years out. By the time you actually realize another technology is solid, you might have missed your best chance to get in. Plus, what if CRM is no longer a thing 20 years from today? What if technology just evolves to something completely unpredictable, like AI taking over vast portions of the industry? This might sound crazy to you, but as someone who works basically at the AI epicenter of the world, it is in my realm of possibilities for the future. I don't know what the future will bring here, but you can see it's something I still think about. Unless, of course, we round ourselves out and prepare for the future, which is the core message I want to say. Don't get complacent. Technology will change faster than you think. This has always been true in history. Can you realistically prepare and predict for 20 years in the future? No. Even 10 years, honestly, is hard. But you have to at least think about it so that when your gut starts to tell you that something's wrong, you'll listen to it instead of ignoring it. And I'm not saying this for clicks, although I do like your clicks. If you look at how I'm adapting my personal career, you'll see all the cues. One, I'm transitioning into a job position that's less focused on a specific technology. Then there's my YouTube channel. You probably don't know this because no one watches these videos, but exactly half of my videos have absolutely nothing to do with Salesforce. That's because I specifically alternate between Salesforce and non-Salesforce videos. I'm trying to make myself less tied to one thing. And I consistently do this even though no one watches my non-Salesforce content. All right, so I'm 34 years old. So with 30 years left on my career, these are things I have to take into consideration. There is a very real possibility that Salesforce will not consistently grow for the next 30 years. And at some point, I'll have to switch to the next great thing. Now, if I was 54 years old, it'd be a different story. And if I was 24 years old, I'd approach it differently as well. Maybe take some more gambles in my career working at startups. Does this mean I don't like Salesforce? No. Salesforce is basically my wife. I owe my entire career to it. And I don't know if you've heard the story, but Mark Benioff, CEO of Salesforce, hooked me up early in my career and I'll never forget it. So I will do whatever I can with whatever platform I have to preserve Salesforce forever. Heck, it's in my best interest to do so. And don't tell my employer, but I feel closer to Salesforce than I do Google, and I love Google. So that's how I feel about the Salesforce industry long term. And if you want to get deeper into that, then join the live stream this weekend. Another thing I want to cover is admins versus developers. I get a lot of raised eyebrows over things I've said, such as admin jobs are disappearing. And that really gets compounded by the fact that I have Salesforce developer courses for sale. So this is like the most dangerous territory I'm in. So I feel like I really need to cover this topic as thoroughly as I can. Where should I start? Let's start with the overall message. Do I really think that admin jobs are disappearing? The answer to this question is a very huge and clear yes from me. Are admin jobs non-existent? No, not at all. Are admin jobs ever going to completely disappear? No way. But I do think the trends are going against admins. Yes, for sure. A lot of people ask me if they should jump into the Salesforce admin industry in 2021, and I say yes wholeheartedly because I believe even with all the forces moving against admins, it's still a very strong career to place your bets in, especially when compared to all the other industries out there. The one caveat I give people is they should learn Salesforce with some urgency. Hurry up, because in 5 years from now, I think it's only going to be harder to find jobs as an admin. But David, fundamentally, why will it be harder? Well, the main reason is supply, your competition. 5 years ago, Salesforce was this relatively unknown thing. If I brought up Salesforce to any random stranger, they'd have no idea what it was. Today, it's the opposite. Everyone wants a piece of Salesforce. So the competition out there is a lot higher, and I think the number of people looking to jump into Salesforce is only going to increase because all the marketing around that is also increasing. And of that supply, the vast majority will be admins. Certainly, the percentage share of newbies going for the admin path will be higher than the percentage share of jobs for admins, hence the supply choke. Just look at the number of official and non-official programs trying to teach people Salesforce for free. On the official side, not only do you have Trailhead, but you've got this massive push from Salesforce to teach Salesforce in universities. On the unofficial side, you've got basically free training programs in every corner of the world for every possible group of people. Fantastic programs, by the way, led by a lot of my friends. All of this marketing is paying off, and it might be the reason why you're interested in Salesforce yourself. And there's nothing wrong with this. We're all very lucky to be here. But the lesson for me is hurry up and build skills because competition is high and barriers to entry are low. All right, let's talk about demand now. So Salesforce is ultra hot. Even today, I still don't know who's in second place. I actually don't believe Salesforce has any legitimate competitors out there. And I haven't seen this equation fundamentally change in the past few years. So to counteract this increase in supply is also a similar increase in demand. That's a good thing. But how about admins versus devs? Is the share of Salesforce jobs out there skewing more and more towards devs? For me, this is also a very easy yes. In my industry, I legit see 20 open Salesforce developer positions for each open admin position. My entire team doesn't have a single admin. But my industry is in high tech. Of course, we'll index towards engineers. You could live in a place on the other side of the world, and it's a different story for you. I don't think it's productive to completely avoid giving an opinion here, though, just because area A is different than area B. Every niche is always going to be different. So my analysis here is this. 5 years ago, in the high-tech industry, there was a much healthier balance between admins and devs. Today, in the high-tech industry, the balance has shifted heavily towards devs. And this is true, even though admins are about 1,000 times more powerful than they were back when workflow rules were king. For better or for worse, companies are just writing more code in Salesforce. Something I don't fully agree with, but I understand and I see with my own two eyes. Also, something very easy to forget is that developers write flows too. Developers use all the tools that admins use. Things like Flow are actually easier for developers to use because they've been working with loops, Sockwell, and before versus after save execution for years. For admins, on the other hand, these are new concepts with tough learning curves. From a toolset perspective, developers can do everything an admin can. So then, why do companies even hire admins? Why not just hire devs who are admins with a larger toolset? The primary reason boils down to cost. Admins are cheaper to hire, maybe by like 30%, maybe more. And so with cheaper labor being the admin position's strongest selling point, I am legitimately worried about the strength of this career path. But take that opinion with me with balance. Admins can and should bring other things to the table. Exceptional communication skills, broad skill sets across multiple Salesforce clouds, process excellence. These are the areas that are the hope of the next generation of Salesforce admin recruits. Areas that developers will struggle to fill because they have to spend more time looking at low-level code. If you position your admin career this way, I think you can have a strong career. If you stay as a pure admin forever, I think sooner or later, the trends of the Salesforce industry will catch up with you. So, anyways, if you believe that what happens here in Silicon Valley eventually trickles down into the rest of the world, then you can expect similar trends in your city a few years from now. If you think that Silicon Valley is a bubble, then I take my industry analysis with a grain of salt and do some more personal research on it. Just note that however you look at it, the supply of Salesforce professionals is increasing faster than any of us would like, and that's probably why this topic just emotionally hits so deep. I will also say that I'm very lucky to travel to a lot of different Salesforce events around the world, both virtually and in person, and I'm pretty well connected with the worldwide Salesforce community too. So I have a decent set of data I'm basing my analysis on. Arguably a better set of data than most people out there. That said though, your particular market could very well be different. Okay, on the flip side, in the developer world, it's still so hard to find and recruit developers. Yes, even as someone in my position, working right next door to Salesforce headquarters, in an industry with lots of money to throw at people, you'd be very shocked to see how many people turn down mid-level Salesforce developer job offers paying over $300,000 a year. Even in the Silicon Valley bubble, those numbers are extraordinary. So I know for sure the developer side is ultra hot. Most importantly though, I really don't like creating this divide between admins and devs. I don't think that's healthy. Like, why even have a distinction between them? I think every dev should be more like an admin and think about how to build things practically. I also think every dev should be more like an admin and focus on the non-technical areas of a project more. Ask anyone on my team, and I talk about this all the time. Things like communication, leadership, and initiative are at least 50% of the equation. At the same time, I think every admin shouldn't be afraid to learn some code. These days, building out a flow is really complicated. You've got before save flows, after save flows. It's more and more like coding every day. but I don't see admins shying away from flows like they do with code sometimes. I'm not saying that every admin needs to become a full-fledged developer, but they shouldn't shut their eyes at the first sign of code. Anyway, take away these barriers between admins and devs, and you've got the ideal Salesforce professional. I hope one day we no longer have to separate admin and developer sections at Dreamforce, just like we don't have separate sections for people who know Flow and people who don't. Finally, let me talk about my coding courses. I can see why someone would say, David, you're just saying all these good things about developers so you can sell more courses. And I really don't blame anyone for thinking that. I'd feel the same way too watching someone in my shoes. But man, this cuts me so deep. It's so painful to ever read that because in my mind, I'm trying to do a nice thing here on YouTube, but I end up feeling like a villain. So I'm like, what's the best way to squash this? My entire mental legacy is on the line here. And here's what I came up with, and I hope you all like it. From now on, anyone who watches any of my YouTube videos, you can have all my courses for free. Just go to my channel page, find my email address, message me, and I'll hook you up. I don't want anything I ever say to be misinterpreted as a sneaky ploy to sell courses, so just take it all for free. Please, I'll give you a month free, which is plenty of time to finish it, but if for whatever reason you need more time, just send me another email and we'll figure something out. Also, make sure to watch my YouTube video titled Don't Learn to Code, where I think you'll find a very balanced and sincere take from me on the downsides of learning to code in Salesforce. Honestly, at the end of the day, I created this channel to help people. And I can see that a lot of things I've said probably scared people more than it really helped them. So I hope this video sets it all straight and gives you some peace of mind. And if not, then join the live stream this weekend in 2 days and ask me about it. More information in the video description below. I really hope one day I'll look back at this stuff and feel that I had a positive impact on the world and that hopefully my kids would see it too and have that mindset themselves. I swear I'm not a bad person just trying to make money. Although I'm not gonna lie, I do have a very selfish goal of getting 100,000 subscribers. So YouTube would send me that silver plaque and I would trade every penny I'll ever make on YouTube for that. So if you think everything I've said in this video is BS, then the best way to hurt me is to unsubscribe. Please don't. Well, regardless of what happens, I'm really fortunate to have a day job that pays the bills and is in my favorite and most beloved technology of all time, Salesforce, so I can continue making crappy YouTube videos here. Thanks for watching and see you at the live stream in 2 days.